Should we begin? Okay.
Yeah, we'll get them in.
Okay. Welcome, parents and students, to our Rochester Public Schools PSEO presentation, Post Secondary Enrollment Option. This is an opportunity for your students to earn college credit in high school. So before we begin, we kind of want to introduce some important roles that each of us play at the four high schools, actually. So we're going to introduce those various folks and our post-secondary schools that offer it right here in Rochester. So Steph, you want to begin?
Sorry, it takes a little bit to unmute. Yes, I'm Stephanie Emanuel, and I'm one of the school counselors at Century High School.
Hi, I'm Brett Ness. I'm one of the counselors at John Marshall High School.
And I am Sarah Jo Klubertant. I am the Mayo School Counselor Rep, and I will also be doing the presentation on behalf of the high schools.
I'm Darren Coulard. I'm a counselor at Rochester Online High School.
Brooke Kosak, and I'm the RCTC PSEO Academic Advisor.
And we hope to get Brett Hartnagel in, but we've hit the capacity, so he will maybe joining us. If not, Darren Couillard will take over his part. So let's get started here. And at any point, we do have the high school counselors will be watching the chat. So when a question comes up, we'll be active in answering some of those questions, but do know a couple things. We have a lot to present. The presentation will be recorded as well. And so the various high schools will repost this presentation, and we have a lot of resources beyond today's presentation you will be able to look through as well. So to start off, the first question really is PSEO right for you and your educational future? And we hope to kind of dive deeper into that question to give you a glimpse of what PSEO all entails for you to know if that's a yes or no answer to that question, because we have found as school counselors that it might not necessarily be the best fit for you. Kind of the overall thing is that some of our students are taking some type of college credit or concurrent enrollment class already, whether it be through AP classes or at CTEC, they're taking a class that they have the opportunity to earn a credit. So there are other opportunities, but PSEO program is for 11th and 12th graders. 10th graders do qualify as well for a little bit different ways, but PSEO would literally be you are a Mayo, Spartan, a Century Panther, John Marshall Rocket, or doing online, and at the same time you want to attend potentially RCTC or UMR. There's no cost. There is no tuition for the credits. You do not pay for textbooks. You do not pay for art supplies, those types of things. You are doing college, and those classes potentially could be online, a hybrid class, or in person where you're physically gonna go to RCTC. And the courses are college classes. So of course they could be offered, 4 to 6 at night, a Saturday class, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you are physically doing the college world. The benefits, of course, sometimes our high schools, the offerings are limited. We have a great deal of classes, but maybe you want more, or maybe you want something different, such as some technical, different career paths that we don't offer. PSEO might be that route. a mature learning environment, you will be surrounded with college students, 18 and up students that you don't get in your Century High School classroom. You are going to be challenged. The coursework is college level, rigorous, and you will get that experience of, am I truly ready for that next step, that university process? So expectations, if you choose to do this path, you are choosing to sign up and be a college student at the same time as a high school student. And so what's expected of you is some natural common sense things that, yes, attendance, responsible behavior. I think our biggest word as high school counselors that we want to really emphasize is independence. You students are independent for this learning opportunity. You are taking a leap into the next level, and you need to be motivated and very responsible to take this step and take it seriously. You're expected to do work completion. You are expected to communicate, and there's going to be two people that you have to communicate consistently with, and that would be your high school counselor as well as your PSEO advisor. In this situation, it would be Brooke, and now our Brenda Aiken, who's going to be helping as well with the district. And so that takes independence, responsibility, and a lot of initiative on your end. Then we go to, am I on track to graduate, as well as keep doing my high school requirements and start gaining college credits at the same time. And so this screen is really for the students to kind of personally assess, am I and do I fit this mold of what is expected of me? So oftentimes we will use the word dual credits. And what I kind of highlight to students is that you are essentially, you're used to your academic record at your high school, you're creating your transcript. Think of it that you are now creating two transcripts. You will have that college transcript, and you will have that Mayo High School or John Marshall transcript. And so at the same time, you're earning two things. The stuff that you are earning at potentially RCTC will also go on your high school transcript. So think of it, the example on the screen is, as a junior, you have to take economics. Say you sign up to take Econ 1101 at RCTC, you now have a RCTC transcript with Econ, and then it transfers to your transcript at Mayo High School, and you've now earned the economics requirement at your high school requirement, and you've gotten your college credit as well. Full-time PSEO students are eligible for the Dean's List and college level kind of achievement awards too. So that sometimes can be a great goal for students. Something that some families aren't aware of is that there are opportunities if you choose to attend and be a PSEO student, is that you qualify to participate in their college level activities, whether it be drama, band, the musics, different clubs and organizations. The one thing you don't qualify for is to be an athlete, a collegiate athlete at a college that you may choose to do PSEO at, okay? Withdrawing, if you choose to withdraw from courses, you have to communicate again with that college advisor and your high school counselor. There's consequences. Sometimes, depending on when you choose to communicate with that college advisor, there's timelines and drop dates for calendar. year that if you withdraw at a certain time, you might not get penalized. But if you choose to drop it after the fact, it could be an F on your high school transcript, or an NC, we should say. So again, we go back to that responsibility and communication factor of being on track for your education. Okay, students, you are very much used to the world of Skyward. Your family, your parents, mom and dad being able to see your attendance, being able to see your grades, looking how you did on a test. Once you step foot on that college campus and you're enrolled as a college student, FERPA law prohibits any release of records and communication. So if mom wants to know how you're doing in economics at RCTC, there's no communication by law. Some families try to communicate with Brooke to check on things. Brooke cannot communicate with parents, and this is a stepping stone, right? As us saying, get this experience, because this is the real world of what truly will happen when you become a freshman in college. Instructors and staff at the college, they work with the student. They will not work with the parents at any capacity. Parents and guardians and your high school counselor, we can't see how you're doing. I can't see if one of my students stops attending a college class. There's nothing. You are now in that independent world of a college student. So again, there's that big leap of independence going into this. So how this works, and I see a couple of you have asked this in the chat, just how credits work and what goes into this. And students, you are familiar because all of us high schools have done registration for next school year. But if you are currently a 10th grader, if you look at the screen, you can kind of see common things that students may choose to take at the college level. And so 11th grade, on the left side of your screen, for parents, those are the requirements 11th graders have to take: English, econ, human geo, algebra 2, and physics. Common classes that equivalent and transfer over as qualifying for that would be English 3, you taking English 11-18. If you want to take human geo at the college level, you would take human geo. Okay, so there's different ways, and we do have a flyer that helps you through this, and we'll show and give you that resource when we're done here. But for 12th grade, there's not a lot of requirements your 12th grade year for course requirements. So US government, if you want to take that at the college level, you would take American government. If you want to take your English 4, half a credit, you would take English 11-17. So just know that we have transferable classes. So you kind of have to look at, what do I want to take? In this next screen stuff, so this is an equation. This gets a little bit, there's a lot on this screen, but someone had asked, how many credits am I allowed to take? What's considered full-time? So our students at the high school level have potentially 3.5. Some of you have 3 credits on your high school schedule of the 8-period day. And Brooke kind of helps you with this when you sign up for your classes. If you're going to be a part-time student, you'd be 1 to 11 college credits. Okay, and that kind of, so I like to use the example, if you go to the 0.5, third row down. So parents, all of our classes this semester that your students are in, let's take human geo is half a credit. So that equals 2 semester credits at the college level. So we kind of do a little formula when we're working with your students to see if they're over the limit or not at yet a full-time student. So kind of the goofy thing is, okay, now what? Like, what does it look like? Where do I go from next? And this is just an example of, on the left side is our 8-period day at the Rochester high schools. But take in mind that RCTC doesn't follow 820 to 909. RCTC doesn't have a bell that rings, right? So a new glimpse of the college world, and some of you parents know this because of your experience, but our PSEO students aren't used to. The example on the screen is Intro to American Government at RCTC is only offered 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday, and say it's from 8:30 to 10 o'clock. So this is kind of a new planning world for these kids where they kind of have to know how to look at and plan their day. This particular student on the screen is considered full-time, taking 3 classes at RCTC, English, Psych, and Government. But then students notice that they're responsible for coming back to their high school for 6th and 7th period for their physics and algebra 2. So I'm going to hit on that independence, right, word. You notice, students, that on Mondays from 11 o'clock to practically 1 o'clock, that student doesn't have anything. And so this is a new experience, a new world for these students, that time management and balancing and how I'm getting to and from becomes a new concept for, oh boy, I have to figure out what I'm doing during that leg time. So kind of the next thing we're going to do is hand it over to the college advisors to kind of talk about their particular programs. And we will come back to the high school counselors at the end, but making a final decision, this isn't a one-size-fits-all. This is a personal decision. It's a personal decision for you as a student on whether this matches your needs, your wants, your goals. Sometimes it's hard, but we want you to look at post-secondary after high school, right? Where do you see yourself? Is attending RCTC, is that gonna benefit you? And will this help you for that next stage? Will it help you reach your goals and get there quicker? Some students wanna do it quicker. Some students wanna do it because it saves money. Some students want it because they want the rigor, right? We always have a different reason for PSEO. And so you really gotta ask yourself, am I academically prepared? Am I personally prepared to take on this responsibility? Because it's an amazing opportunity, but you have to kind of reflect on yourself whether you're personally ready. And maybe you're not ready after listening to this, but maybe you want to wait a year and then do it your senior year. There's plenty of opportunities, but we'll dive in right now to learning about UMR's process. Darren, are you there?
Brett said he's in. So Brett, are you there?
I am here.
All right, there you
Awesome.
are.
Okay. Brett Hardnagel is he's gonna take over, and he's from UMR, so you can introduce yourself. Glad you could jump in.
No, glad to be here. Thanks, everybody. My name is Brett Hartnagel. I am the Director of Admissions at the University of Minnesota Rochester, located in downtown Rochester. So if we can move to the next slide. All right. So first, I'll talk a little bit about the application criteria and what we're looking for with UMR PSEO students. This is a limited access program, so we do have a bit of a rigorous selection process, and that starts with, first and foremost, GPA. We want to make sure that students are ready for the type of classes that they're going to be taking. All the classes at UMR are the same classes that a traditional freshman would take. We do not offer anything that would be considered remedial. So we really must make sure that the GPA is there. And so that is why we require a minimum of 3.5 GPA, and that is an unweighted GPA. We do take class rank into consideration, especially for those who rank in the top 20%. That is not a requirement to be in the top 20%, but it is something that we do take into consideration, is class rank. We look at the type of courses that you've taken already so far, any honors or AP courses that you've done already. Also, if you've done PSEO at RCTC in your junior year, that will be certainly considered as part of the review process, and those credits would transfer over to UMR, so that can certainly be looked at. But ultimately, UMR is a health sciences institution, and so we need to make sure that you are ready and prepared for a STEM-based curriculum. And so we are going to be looking heavily at your math and science coursework, as well as writing, but really math and science. In fact, we will calculate what we call a STEM GPA, which is your math and science coursework put together. So if you are struggling in Algebra 2, or if you have not yet taken biology or chemistry yet, you are not yet ready for UMR. We want to make sure that students are ready to go. We do have an essay on the application, which is, why are you interested in going into a field of healthcare? If you are looking at UMR for a future career path in engineering or in business or in art, we are not the institution for you. You want to take general classes at RCTC. If you ultimately do want a healthcare career, that is something that we can work on, but we want to make sure that you understand, that we are a health science focused institution. So all of the courses are going to be themed with health sciences. So there is an application essay on the application. And really just trying to see that, you have that passion to go into healthcare. Next slide. So like I said, it is a limited access program. It is not open enrollment. We do have usually about anywhere from 10 to 15 students that can be admitted into the program each year. Those 10 to 15 students, I just want to let you know, first and foremost, seniors only. We will not accept any juniors right now into this program. We don't have enough space for all the seniors that are interested. So we do want to give priority to the seniors, or those transitioning into their senior year. Also, something to understand that's not on this slide, but we are open to PSEO students coming from anywhere in the state of Minnesota. And so we have students from Twin Cities, we have students from all over the Minnesota that apply to our program and actually will live on campus. This is not a program that's simply reserved for the Rochester Public Schools, even though we do give strong consideration to the Rochester Public School students. So you are, essentially being looked at in comparison to not just RPS students, but also any student in the state of Minnesota. If you do sign up for this program, this is not a 1-class or a 2-class option. This is full-time. We do expect you to come to UMR full-time or as close to it as possible. If you have 1 or 2 courses that you need for high school graduation that UMR does not offer, we can certainly make arrangements with your high school to take those 1 or 2 courses either at your high school or virtually. But otherwise, you're going to be spending the entire senior year at UMR, and they will be in person. You cannot do a fully online program with UMR. Most of the courses, almost all of the courses, are going to be in person. The type of courses that you're going to be looking at in your first year would be biology. That usually will be in the spring semester. 2 semesters of chemistry, both fall and spring. You're going to have 2 semesters of writing. You're going to have math, college algebra, and potentially pre-calculus. And then you could potentially be put into some more general elective courses such as sociology, psychology, ethics. The ones that we really don't offer that we typically see required are government, art, geography, and English. Those courses, again, we can work with your high school to make arrangements. But if you have way too many credits that you need for graduation outside of the norm, we may not be able to accommodate you. Next slide, please. All right, so the application for UMR is technically open right now. We are reviewing on a space available basis. So it is first come, first serve, and we will stop taking applications as of May 1st. There is, the application is available online on our website, and you can contact me. There's my information on the screen, and you can always contact me at any time, but we are starting to take applications, and we will admit until we have our number of students. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out. I did see a couple of questions come up in the chat. What kind of better defines health sciences? All right, so real quick. Obviously, direct patient care. That's for anybody who's interested in pre-med, nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, dentistry, pharmacy, anything dealing with direct patient care. Research, absolutely. Psychology, yes. Mental health is considered health sciences. So anything dealing with psychology, sociology, social work, counseling, health technology, I would say biomedical engineering is a no. Biomedical engineering is more on the technology engineering side, but health technology, whether we're dealing with prosthetics, orthotics, whether you're dealing with nutrition, or anything such as like, pacemakers or mobile device apps to help with health, that's health technology. The business side of healthcare administration certainly can count for it. And so there's lots of areas. I would strongly suggest you go look online to our degree site to see all the different pathways that you can take with UMR's health sciences degree. It is not just pre-med U or nursing U. There are lots and lots of different ways for you to be able to take or go into the healthcare field beyond just direct patient care. I would also say public health as well. That's obviously a big thing now given the pandemic. So lots of areas in the public health or in the health sciences field, but especially patient care, mental health, and I would say research are kind of our top three. So yes, the health sciences is psychology is considered a health sciences. There is no minimum STEM GPA for UMR. But we do look at an overall GPA of 3.5. If your STEM GPA is a 2.2, health, then math and science are not your subject areas. So we don't have to have it be exactly the same, but your STEM GPA should hopefully be, I would say, above 3.0. And that's all the questions that I see. If you have more questions, I can certainly answer them in the chat. But otherwise, I will pass the baton on. But thank you all very much.
Hi, I'm Brooke Kosak, and I'm the advisor at RCTC for the PSEO students. We'll also be having Brenda Aiken help with the RPS students as well, and will be out in the high schools at your individual schools. She has an assigned day each week, so you can just check with your counseling staff on which day she will be at your school. But I'm also a resource as well. But we do have around 850 PSEO students currently this spring semester. We accept all that qualify and meet the deadlines. We do start our academic semester for fall on August 22nd. And so you just want to make sure you get all your information in and your application in, I would say by early June, because your counselors do leave for the summer. But we do have two options for PSEO at RCTC, and there's option A and option B. Option A is more, gen ed based route. If you're planning on transferring to a four-year college, you're going to kind of follow that liberal arts path of, like your Englishes and your history socials, your speeches, your math and science, just getting your gen eds done. And that is available to 11th and 12th graders only. And then our option B route is more career and tech ed oriented. We do have 10th graders, a sophomore option for them, that you have the option to take one course your first semester. And then you can add on those courses each semester after that. And then option B is also available to 12th graders as well. And admission does vary by program. So, certain programs like, whether it's auto mechanics, carpentry, medical secretary, things like that. So we can kind of look at that individually, though, if you're planning on looking at that as a senior for those option B programs. Next slide. All right, so option A, the entrance criteria for option A for the juniors and seniors. Juniors, you have to have a 3.0 cumulative GPA, and then seniors have to have a 2.5 cumulative GPA. And then placement into courses will be based on AccuPlacer testing in your reading and math, unless you have MCA scores on 10th grade MCA reading scores of 1047 or higher, and or ACT scores. And reading would be, on the ACT would be a 21 or higher. And then math is all dependent on what math you plan to start with, but typically a 22 or higher will start you in that college algebra math route. Next slide, please. Option B, the career and tech ed. The sophomores, you have to have a proficient score in the 8th grade MCA reading. And you would want to submit those scores with all your application materials. So when we review your application for admission, we have those scores to review as well. And then you only get one course that first semester. And we do have a list of those classes on our website. If you go on the RCTC website and then go under admissions and PSEO, we do have a list of the sophomore options of courses that you can take. And then seniors, again, the entrance into the program, let's say you choose to do like business management AAS, our AAS degree, which is our associate science degree. If you choose the option B route, you are limited to courses within that program only, okay? So for example, if you still have government left as a senior and that is not required in that program, then you would have to take that course back at your high school. So that's just something, and we look at that individually as well. When you meet with myself or Brenda, we go over all that information with you if you choose the option B program. Next slide. All right, so some of the tools at RCTC that you will use is D2L, and that's our online tool for learning. It is a web-based system, just like your Google Classroom. And this is where we deliver our course content, where you complete your assignments. You can participate in your discussion boards that instructors might have for you. You can communicate with your instructors, your classmates, and you also take all your quizzes on D2L and your exams as well, if that's how the instructor chooses to deliver their tests and quizzes. Your account is created about 55 days before we start our semester. And then your courses will be available on the first day of the semester. So typically the courses are loaded the weekend before we start. So it's not something that is live right away. So if you came in and registered with myself or Brenda in May, those courses aren't going to show up until right before we start the semester. But they are all loaded in there that weekend before. So on the first day of classes, you can begin to get started on your courses if you choose to do a fully online course. It's right through D2L. And next slide, please. RCTC Student Services. So this is kind of your student portal, basically. And this is where PSEO students cannot register online themselves. Myself or Beth will do Brenda will do all the registration for you. But you can view your schedule, you can print your schedule, you can email a copy of your schedule to your high school counselor. You can check your final grades on your e-services. If for some reason you move, you want to change your address there, because then we're able to get in contact with you when we do send out information to the students. Also, if you are pursuing a specific degree with RCTC, if you want to pursue your liberal arts degree or a certain pathway transfer pathway that we have. You can follow that degree audit right on your e-services and see what courses you have taken and then what courses you still have remaining each term when you register. And you can also get an unofficial copy of your college transcript. Sometimes you might need to have a transcript to, submit for your insurance for your parents, for auto or something like that. So you can get your unofficial college transcript there as well. And so just a couple I want to go over just a few things with deadlines. Our application deadline is August 8th. And that is pretty critical because, so I strongly encourage that if you are planning on doing PSEO, that you start the application process even now. We are starting to admit students already. We will begin, doing testing and orientation here within the next, testing will probably start, towards the end of March. And then we begin doing the orientation and registration sessions, usually the end of April, and then full-fledged in May, June, and July, and then August. So your counselors do also have the summers off for the most part. So I assume that they appreciate if you get your paperwork and stuff in early as well. So if you can get that application going on the RCTC website, basically if you just do the online app, that will trigger the communication to you. And it'll get the ball rolling for you on what you need to do. And I think that that's all that I have on my side. So I'll hand it back over to Sarah.
So a couple things, students. I see a lot of questions going through the chat. You apply, okay? So you start by applying to the particular college. Many of you are, what if I don't take the ACT yet? Or what if I haven't taken the AccuPlacer? When you apply and do those steps, that's going to initiate what Brooke just said, that the next communication will start rolling, okay? Because your ACT score or the AccuPlacer score, they tell you if you're in or not based on that GPA and the criterias, and then they tell you the next steps. How do you take the AccuPlacer? What scores can you submit to qualify? So a lot of you are wondering about test scores. You don't need them just yet, okay? You don't need them just yet. Now on the screen right now is the next steps for each particular high school. And all three of us are using Google, whether it be the Google site or the Google Classroom. So your next step, if this is something that you truly want to do, you want to join for Mayo and John Marshall, you want to join that Google Classroom. And we have it laid out step by step as well as Century on now you need to apply. Now you need to fill out this paperwork. Now you need to submit this paperwork. So everything is now on you as far as joining those Google sites and initiating the next steps, okay? One of the biggest things that you want to keep in mind, Brooke nailed it, is that college semesters are not like the high school semesters. So RCTC will start in August and semester 1 will finish in December, similar as UMR. Semester 1 for Mayo High School, John Marshall, and Century doesn't end until mid-January. So there's a lot of balancing acts that have to happen and timelines that you need to keep in mind as you do this. All of 3 high schools, our deadline is going to be the end of May for you to get your PSEO stuff done and completed. So we will not do it during the summer. We'll definitely be balancing and helping you with your schedule, but applying and getting the go-ahead from UMR or RCTC needs to happen in the next 3 months. High school counselors, Brett or Brooks, do you want to add anything? A couple students have some pretty detailed questions. I would say that your next step is to follow your high school's process and then initiate contact with your school counselor. Your high school counselor will help. Eliza, you're asking some stuff. We have experience with working with UMR and their requirements, so you can reach out to your high school counselor and we can help you communicate with Brett. I think we're good. Thank you, families. Thank you, parents. Thank you, students, guardians, for joining us. We know that this wasn't ideal with the Zoom capacity. This will be recorded and we will be posting it on our high school websites as well. So the next step is following your Google sites and then connecting with your high school counselors. We appreciate you.